Three, two, one. And lift off of GOES-18. Weather in the sky to help you stay safe here on the ground.
It's been just a little bit over 2 months since NOAA launched its latest weather satellite from Cape Canaveral, and CBS 12 News was there. I was at the Cape the day America's weather prediction got a huge upgrade. And while the pageantry of launch day is long gone, the work for NOAA's science teams are just beginning.
This is GOES-18, NOAA's latest and most advanced weather satellite to date. It's currently situated 22,236 miles above Earth, keeping its eye over the Western Hemisphere, ready to predict the weather for the United States and its partners. There's a slew of tech outfitted on it, but none more important than this. This is the Advanced Baseline Imager, or ABI. It is the literal eye of the satellite.
The ABI has been a part of weather satellites since the early 1990s. Its sole purpose, to take photos of the Earth, helping to provide satellite imagery to determine differences in Earth's atmosphere. It maps out where the clouds, water vapor, and smoke are on Earth, while simultaneously providing visible, near-infrared, and infrared imagery. This means we can receive weather data at all times of the day.
But this ABI is different. Unlike the previous weather satellites launched before this GOES-18 program, this camera provides three times more information, four times higher resolution, and more than five times faster coverage than ever before.
Take a look. This is what satellite imagery used to look like. New satellite images would come in every 30 minutes, and when severe storms or a hurricane are threatening, that delay between new images could mean life or death for you and your family. Now, that imagery data comes in every 5 minutes. It could be as fast as every 30 seconds if NOAA deems it necessary. This provides more rapid updates between images, which allow meteorologists to determine changes in storm intensity and direction that could have been missed before. It's this data which can help provide better lead times for weather warnings, which can protect you, your family, and your property. And over the past several years, wildfire season out west has intensified, causing billions of dollars in damage to several states. This satellite aims to change that.
The Advanced Baseline Imager on GOES-18 is able to detect the thermal signature of the hot spots from those wildfires. And at times, sometimes we're able to even see the hot spots before the fires get out of control and before they get called in public.
That was Dan Lindsay, NOAA's program scientist of the GOES-R program. He says the advancements GOES-18 can provide for firefighters out west is invaluable information that could prevent a potential fire disaster for millions.
Say the National Weather Service notices the hot spots from the satellite, calls it into the local firefighters, and they're able to extinguish the fire before it gets out of control.
And when it comes to air travel, your flight relies on data from this satellite. The National Weather Service will monitor and issue weather warnings for airports when conditions may be favorable for fog.
Utilizing software developed by scientists at the University of Wisconsin-Madison Cooperative Institute for Meteorological Satellite Studies, NWS offices can detect fog earlier than ever before. According to a study by the Federal Aviation Administration, weather was responsible for nearly 70% of all flight delays between 2008 and 2013, which can cost airlines upwards of $4,000 each hour per flight. This product, which uses imagery from GOES-18, not only saves airlines money, but can help you avoid travel delays by giving airlines better warning of potential hazardous weather. So what's next? GOES-18 is undergoing its testing phase right now, commissioning each of its instruments and making sure no issues have arisen. NOAA hopes to receive the first image from GOES-18 later this month and will then drift the satellite west towards its permanent parking orbit. It will continue its testing phase there through late 2022 before becoming operational in early January 2023. Once operational, the satellite will reside over the Pacific Ocean, keeping an eye on the weather across the western United States, Hawaii, and the Pacific Islands.
Summer is just around the corner, and that means more people heading to the beach in Palm Beach County and on the Treasure Coast. But as Stephanie Valderrama explains, more people swimming in the water could attract more sharks to shore. She is live at the Lake Worth Beach Pier with some important safety tips to keep in mind. Stephanie?
Yeah, Liz, with so many new people moving down there, down here, and even more people coming to visit, they might not be as familiar with some of the dangers that lurk in our waters. So I wanted to ask an expert why he believes there's been more shark bites in our area recently and what people should know.
These are the ones that are the culprits right here.
Florida Atlantic University biological professor Stephen Kajura tells CBS 12 News this is the jaw of a full-grown black-tip shark. He says they tend to be on the smaller size, on average around 5 feet long, but their smaller size allows them to come closer to shore. Based off of his research, he says they account for most shark bites in Florida.
And when it does bite, it's going to be pinprick bites, these sharp individual teeth that are going to pierce the skin, but it's not going to do much more than that.
Our partners at the Sun Sentinel have reported 3 shark bites in Palm Beach County in just the last few months. Is it that the sharks are getting closer to the shore?
Looking at the aerial survey data that we've collected over the past 12 years or so, it does not appear that the sharks are any closer to shore now. They've always been close to shore. I think it's simply a matter of more people in the water just increases the probability that someone is going to get bitten.
With the summer months almost here, Kajura anticipates more encounters between sharks and humans as more people head out to the beach. But some locals aren't worried. Are you ever worried about sharks when you come to the beach?
No,
Why is that?
because the sharks are worried about me. I don't worry about them.
And those visiting, like these ladies in town for a wedding who were walking the Lake Worth Pier on Monday, say they know what to do if they get in the water and happen to encounter a shark.
I'd probably scream, probably get a little anxious, a little frantic, but I know they try to tell you to stay calm.
She's not wrong. Professor Kajura says to avoid swimming in murky waters or in places where fishermen may be fishing with bait.
If you do swim, maybe swim somewhere where there is a lifeguard tower nearby, so in case you do get bitten, you have help immediately available to you.
So earlier today, we were actually talking to some of the fishermen up on the pier, and they spotted quite a large shark. They couldn't tell from the pier what kind it was, but just another reminder to keep your eyes peeled when you're out here enjoying our beautiful coastline. Reporting live in Lake Worth Beach, Stephanie Valderrama, CBS 12 News.
Florida was named the shark bite capital of the world, according to a study from the Florida Museum of Natural History. Researchers say our state accounts for a third of all attacks worldwide. Florida had 28 unprovoked shark bites last year. Volusia County near Daytona Beach had the most of them with 17. St. Lucie County and Miami-Dade each had 2, while Martin and Palm Beach and Broward counties had 1 attack each. Fortunately, none of them were fatal. Another shooting in broad daylight in Greenacres this morning, not far from John I. Leonard High School.
Yeah, this happened over on Fleming Avenue, and as our CBS 12 Al Pepley reports tonight, the teenage victim had just been released from the hospital a few weeks ago after being shot in the parking lot across from the school a few weeks ago. He's joining us with more.
Jim, the victim was outside his home here on Fleming Avenue when shots were fired from a passing car this morning, killing him. Even though this young man was targeted for the second time in just a matter of weeks, PBSO has not given us any information for a possible motive for this murder.
I'm still in shock. I couldn't believe it. I thought he was healing, and now to hear this it's a complete shock.
Carlos Cardozo, the uncle of the teen who was killed, is heartbroken.
My understanding is somebody drove by, shot him. I believe he was outside, and unfortunately he was hit and killed.
Following the shooting, people gathered outside the victim's home to comfort and console one another. Shockingly, we're told the teenager who was gunned down around 10 o'clock this morning is the same person who was shot April 13th in the parking lot of a medical center just a few blocks from here, across the street from John I. Leonard High School, where he was a student. This is a still photo of that shooting, which PBSO released at the time, hoping one of those multiple witnesses would come forward to help arrest the shooter. The victim's uncle says the teen was recovering at home from the gunshot wounds and that the family had decided to homeschool him for the rest of the year.
Good kid, and just got back home. He was doing better, trying to get himself together in his life. He just got his learner's permit.
Neighbors say to see this kind of gun violence where they live is worrisome.
Teenagers with guns, it's not good. It's not good. Just a sign of the times. Things are getting pretty bad in this neighborhood and in the country in general.
It's sad to see 13-year-olds, 14-year-olds, 15-year-olds shot, killed when they have a whole life ahead of them.
And the victim's uncle also told CBS 12 News, although he does not know the motive for the shooting involving his nephew, he does, however, believe that somehow it was gang-related.